financially ready. Our business had, taken a bit of a fall from COVID, but like you just have to jump in and don't tell anyone until you're already well on your way, because everybody's opinions just block you from the next stage. So I just do things in silence and watch as everyone applauds you later.
At Foundr, we're leading an educational revolution and training the entrepreneurs of tomorrow. In this series, we're talking to our own students to discover how they're building the businesses of their dreams. These are real, everyday people who have made it happen. Now, before we jump in, our lawyers have told us to tell you this. Of course, we can't guarantee you'll have the results like some of our stories we're about to share in this show. And as you know, with any business, it's a lot of hard work in addition to completing any online course. And with that said, welcome to From Zero to Foundr. Hey everyone, Molly here. I'm the community manager at Foundr, and today we're going to be speaking to a couple who have gone through our Start and Scale course, Angus and Alana, and they have an amazing company of personalized affirmation cards. They're spreading so much positivity, which is what we need after this year, and I'm super excited to hear about their journey. So let's get into it. And why don't you introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit about your business?
Yeah, wonderful. Well, my name's Alana.
And I'm Angus.
And we run Grounded Minds, which is an affirmation cards business.
Amazing. Nice and simple. I love it. So for people who might not know what affirmation cards are, do you want to go into a little bit more depth about that?
Yes. So I guess affirmations in itself are like positive words that we say to ourselves, hopefully daily, and ways to boost our self-esteem and our motivation, to maybe give us some clarity, and to just inject some positivity into our lives, which I think during the last 12 months, it's been a bit more difficult than usual. So I think we were really inspired to create these just from COVID and a little bit more of a spiritual journey that we've been on. But yeah, affirmations are hopefully something that people practice every day.
Definitely. I couldn't agree with you more, and I think it's really great that you guys have put it in more of a tangible way that people can kind of just grab a card, read a positive statement, and kind of like see it every morning. And I guess going back to your history, have you always had affirmation cards in your day-to-day life?
What? I have never owned affirmation cards before creating them, which I think is kind of like the secret weapon to just creating something that is just not really inspired by anybody else. I was making these and Angus said, they're so cool, we need to print them. And I had no idea if I was allowed to have affirmation cards that had different backgrounds on them, because usually when you get a deck of cards, they've all got one design on one side, and then you kind of by chance choose one and then you see the words. And all of our cards have a different illustration on one side, and then the back of them has the words on it. So I actually didn't even know if that was legally allowed, but Angus encouraged me and said that, well, who cares, just give it a go, and people have seemed to really connect with them, which is nice.
It was definitely a funny, almost like an accidental creation, I suppose. I remember I was cooking a curry one night, and then Alana was sort of just sketching on her notepad, and she was showing flashing like flashcards, and I thought, it's really cool, and they got better and better and better. And I suppose the idea just evolved, and Alana was using her journal to journal down different thoughts and practicing gratitude every day during 2020. And then they just sort of evolved into the cards they are today.
Yes, they took on their own life.
And they really have.
Sometimes feel like I don't even know how they were created. They just came to us. And the funniest thing is that we actually purchased Start and Scale before we came up with this concept for the product. Originally, which is not funny, I guess some people might do this, but we were going to start a candle business. We were like, candles, we can do candles, that'll be great. We just always wanted to do an e-commerce business.
Yeah.
And we bought all of the stuff to make candles, and then we spent a day making candles, and I was like, oh, this isn't as enjoyable as I had expected.
They smelled really good, and they were great candles, but there was a lot of bad hours.
It was just a lot of work and a lot of mess, and it was just not what I'd imagined. So now I actually make candles just for us and for fun. But yeah, then I was like, well, what's our idea going to be? We don't even know. Now we've purchased this course. What are we going to do? And then I guess that just naturally came to us. And then Angus was like, well, maybe this is our product. I was like, oh, well, maybe it is.
No, that's incredible. What a story. And I guess you did touch upon, obviously it has been a hard year for all of us in the past, couple of months. So is that how you kind of discovered your love for journaling, or have you always done journaling and practiced gratitude?
I had a journal growing up, but I definitely lost connection with it when, you know, you get into your 20s and you feel like that's only something a teenage girl does. But I'm pretty obsessed with like personal development, and Angus and I listen to lots of podcasts, and we're really inspired by so many people. And I think that that self-help industry is something that we love, and we really connect with. And yeah, but at the beginning of last year, I think it actually could have been before COVID, I started journaling. I just like, I needed to get it into it. And we have a really, really beautiful morning routine, which is a really big part of our day and how it sets us up, because we also run a music school. So we've got lots going on. And and then I just wanted to kind of add one more thing to my morning routine, and that ended up being journaling. And one day I sat there and started reading it back, and I thought, wow, like these are some really cool words. Or I remember sharing one with my friend. I said, is this good? She's like, yeah, I love that so much. And then I was like, maybe these words are good too. And I used to be a songwriter, so I've always had a fascination with writing words and poetry. And so some of them are little poems and they rhyme, and some of them are just like inspirational mantras, and other ones are more focused on affirmation. So not specifically all affirmations that say I am great. They actually are a little bit deeper than that, which is cool because it contrasts the drawings, which are really fun. So hopefully it helps people maybe purchase something and they go, this is really fun, this is really modern, and then they actually read it and go, oh, like this is actually making me question things about myself. Like, why did I choose this card? Why is this relevant to me today? And usually you can dig deeper and ask yourself questions you might not have asked yourself, and then you start to have that little bit of a deeper sense with yourself.
I love that. And even before, we were flicking through the cards ourselves and pulling them out of the deck, it's just like a fun experience as well, which I think is really great what you've created. And I guess, talk me through how you thought of the designs.
That's a funny question. I think Alana started drawing them all, and she got to about 21 cards, and that's when we thought, all right, we should try and make something of it, like try and turn it into something. And then I just pulled the number 42 out of a hat, and it's my favorite number. And that's how we got to 42 cards. So I suppose, where did
I think the designs, honestly, I just started doing one-line drawings, and I was doing it for fun whilst in lockdown. And then I started painting them, and they were all on the wall, and like our whole house looked like an art gallery, but it didn't matter. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll actually scan them in and colorize them on Photoshop, because I'm quite familiar with using like Illustrator and Photoshop. So I had experience in that before. My mum is a graphic designer and an artist, so I grew up with learning that, like kind of sitting next to the computer and learning from her. So, and we do all of our own design for our music school. So it's something that we are using constantly. But yeah, as soon as I started colorizing them on the computer, I was like, oh, like these are coming to life now. Like that's what I kind of wanted. And then I was like, maybe I'll make them into a card. And I actually don't know. It just kind of happened. We're just sitting there for weeks on end, and I was just kept churning them out, and then I'd show Angus, and he'd be like, nah, that one's not good. I'd be like, okay. and then I'd do another one. But some of the cards in there, like I look at them and go, oh my God, that's one of the first drawings I feel like I've ever done.
There's a lot of emojis in there.
But cool, whatever. Like you need to, I think one of the things that Greta said, which really stuck with us, which was like, if you're not embarrassed by some of your first work that you put out there, then you haven't shown anybody fast enough. It's like you don't want to live your life and never share the songs that you've written or something like that. So we just decided to jump in there and give it a go, and everyone thought they were really cool. So, and I actually genuinely thought they were really cool. Like Angus I made them, and then he's kind of like taken them and had his own fun with the project. But when we actually got the first original deck, which like the box was a bit different, like we changed a lot of things from it, but we were so excited.
The video is quite funny actually of us unboxing it. And you look at it now, the font is about size 3. You can't even read anything on the box, and the printing is, not that fantastic. It's quite funny. For what we have now.
Yeah, Angus did the box design. got a background in engineering, and so he loved working out all of that, and then he's done all of our custom packaging now. But yeah, when we initially did it on the screen, it looked great. We're like, oh, that looks really cool. It's really modern that everything's kind of small. But then when we got the package, like, oh, it's actually such a small box. We need to adjust it. So then we made some amendments.
I forgot to use the actual size on Photoshop, and yeah, you can zoom in a long way when it's a vector file.
Yeah, we'll have to send it to you. But we actually genuinely loved it. Like when we got it and we took a video, and like I just sent it to some friends, and they were all like, "Oh my god, I love this! They're so cool!" And yeah, just I genuinely actually really liked it. And I love when you can feel like that about something you've created, because that's when, you know, because usually you're your worst critic. But I just felt like they were just something that needed to be shared.
Yeah.
I love that, and I do agree with you. I think they are something very unique, and they are on trend at the same time. Like line drawings were really popular, so I love how it's shown through a different way, and kind of how your affirmations suit your nice little characters that you've created, and it's very, very fluid with your idea. And I guess talking about Angus, you have an engineering background. Did you want to speak through the manufacturing process? Because I know that's what a lot of young entrepreneurs actually struggle with, is finding a manufacturer and things like that.
Well, when we finished the design, it was pretty grueling process, lining everything up, making it all centered and getting it all finished. And then we were just searching around for printers that were in Australia, and we eventually found one, which was the correct printer for what we were actually looking for. And we got 3 samples made. I think 2 samples. I think we got 2 samples. Yeah. And then we arrived at what we actually wanted. But I think it's important to find something you're really, really happy with quality-wise. So don't settle. If you find something, I think Rena was actually saying this in the course, definitely don't just settle for the first one, get 5 or, so line up a couple of manufacturers. But with a bit of Googling, you can uncover some really good stuff locally as well.
Yeah.
But it is just a process.
I think we felt safe going locally too.
Yeah.
Just to know that like it was close and we could talk to someone, and like we'd never done this before.
And we've never done a product. We've mainly been service-based with the music school. So we wanted to, inject X amount of capital in and, buy, say, 500, I think it was 500 units we first initially purchased. And that was like the, if we can sell those, then, we're on to something. And we did. So that's when we thought, all right, we actually have, an actual business here. I've done a lot of business study, and we sort of used the lean startup method and just sort of shipped it out there, started to get some feedback. And then that's when we started to go, all right, this is actually working. Let's start to grow it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an amazing, amazing achievement that you've both done together, which is even more incredible. And you've mentioned how you have a music school as well. Are you finding that there's a hard balance between, I'm guessing, having that music school maybe full-time as well as starting and running your new baby business?
It is it's a lot to juggle, but I find that we both have our different parts of the businesses that we specialize in. I suppose my background in engineering and business is the back end, so the systems, the processes, all the boring stuff, which I find fun, like all the accounting, all the finance, figuring out how we're going to get from here to here. Whereas Alana is more the culture, the actual product on both sides, and making sure that I suppose everything runs well on the front end. So we both we're not stepping on each other's toes, so it works really well. Because I know a lot of people that work with their partners, like or not even work with their partners, like they go home, how do you work with your significant other? But our opinion is, if you can't spend that much time with them, then what are you doing?
Yeah, like I get to hang out with my best friend all day. Like that's pretty cool.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's not saying it's all rainbows and unicorns, because holy crap, it's definitely not. But you get to build a life you love, and that's the best. That's why you do anything, isn't it? I think a lot of people get caught up in a job they don't like, or something they're doing when it's bringing them every morning. They wake up and it's lying there going, why am I getting out of bed right now? And that's just not how you want to feel. That's another reason why you should use affirmation cards, actually. I think there we go. Little cheeky plug there. We do love both of our businesses, and it's just a fun,
and Angus, because I'm probably like a little bit more hands-on with our music school, and at the front end, which is quite demanding now that we're back in person, which is amazing. But now Angus kind of runs Grounded Minds, and I'll just keep doing the social media content and that stuff. But he's doing like the packaging, the sending things out, the back end things that no one really sees. So everyone probably just thinks that I'm a superwoman, but I'm not.
No, yeah, no, I'm sure you are. I guess you did touch upon Instagram, Alana, and I have scoured through your Instagram, and I think it's great what you've done to be able to grow such a presence on there, even before you actually launched. Would you like to talk us about your social media strategies that you and Ground in Mind have created?
Yeah, so I think that this was something that was really nice to have our hand held through from the Start and Scale course, because like we love social media, and it's something that we've had to use for all that we've created. But yeah, trying to work out the strategy, like do you have do you show everyone the product and then do you release it, or like what are we going to do? So we kind of built up hype through our personal pages, and like, we're going to release something. Everyone's like, are you pregnant? And I was like, kinda, I'm having a baby, but it's a business baby. And then, yeah, so like the day that we launched, I think we went from like 0 followers, maybe we got like, I don't know, 200 or something.
Yeah, 200 or 300.
Yeah, and we made a pact together that we didn't want to do like the follow unfollow strategy, which people do. So we were like, let's just let it be really organic and trust in the process, that it doesn't happen overnight, but it's going to be something that hopefully we build. The goal is to build a community of people that have like similar mindset and vision, and they want to learn and they actually enjoy reading our posts. So we get, the correct amount of engagement to the amount of followers we have. Which has been a really good strategy. But one thing that Greta had told us to do, which we definitely did, was we organised like a giveaway at the start, and we reached out to every single person that had some sort of influence in our life. And luckily we're quite connected in the music industry, so we had lots of people through music that were sharing it, which was cool. And then we just had friends that were models who had pages, and we just sent them out. And we were like, how do we make this special for them? Because one of the things that is really important for us is experience. So like, when you walk into our music school, hopefully you're like, wow, this space is really inviting. I feel at home. It's really modern. I feel safe to share myself because singing is so vulnerable. So like, but what do you do with a product? Like, how do you make people feel like this is really special and they get to experience this and no one else does? And so initially we had like a packaging box, kind of like what books are delivered to you in, which we found was really good for protecting the product. And then we stamped every single one, and System Man over here was not about stamping anything. So that's why we led to doing custom packaging. But yeah, we decided to make little custom illustrations of every single person that we sent it out to. So they felt like we weren't just sending them a product and assuming that they would post it. We were actually putting a lot of effort into individualizing every single person we sent it out to before we released. And that led to every single person posting and sharing it on their stories. People even did posts for us, which is really, really nice. But we found that giving it a personal touch, and that would be my number one advice, is sending out to anyone of influence, like put that little extra effort in, even if it takes you a day. And then it's actually worth sending your product out, because that product still costs us money. And it's, you want to make sure you're sending it to the right people. But that really helped, because it really got because all of the people in that circle were kind of all connected to a lot of people in our circle. We found that it must have looked like for some people that everyone had this. I want to have it and I want to support it. And they're launching, so I'm part of the journey from the beginning. So that was really helpful for building our account at the start. And when we actually launched, we had so many people on our website, which was so exciting.
That was awesome.
But I think only 20% of the people who purchased we actually knew. So there was a massive amount of people that we had no idea who they were, and they lived in all parts of Australia. We even had people ordering in Canada. We had people from the States.
Had
lots of international orders. So yeah, with the Instagram has been our main focus. We've tried TikTok, but it's so hard to put my energy into so many different platforms. I really struggle, and I was like, if I'm going to do something well, I'm going to do one of them really well, and then we can kind of expand from there.
Incredible. And I completely agree with you, because I think having that custom element, and I went onto your website and had a little look around, and I love that you even offer that as a service that people can ask for their own customization, and you even go into at Foundr, 99% of our content is free. Today's episode is only made possible by our incredible student community, from our magazine subscribers to the entrepreneurs enrolling in our course programs. If you are thinking of finally starting your own business, make sure to check out the exact free training that led today's guests to where they are now. Head to foundr.com/ecommerce training or follow the link in the show notes. Detail asking them to provide 2 photos, telling you a bit about themselves. Is that to help improve that experience even more, getting to actually know that person, not just getting a photo and jotting it down on a piece of paper?
Like, I don't think I can draw them how they are because I don't know them. Like, I need to ask questions. I like want to know, what they're known for. And then I love to involve that because I don't know if I explained, but I do little custom portraits. So they're A5 illustrations, and I need an iPad. I illustrate everything by hand, and it's all in one go. So it's not like I don't pencil it out. I actually have a marker and I do it in one shot. And sometimes I can get it wrong so many times. We're going to get an iPad soon. It'll happen. I don't want to waste any more paper. But yeah, the illustrations, we now offer them on our website, and we did last week or the week before, we did a Valentine's Day one, which was really cool. So couples sent in photos of themselves, and then they told me about them as a couple, and then I write a little poem for them at the bottom of it. So yeah, I really customize it. But it's actually true what you're saying. We've got to know people who like our product in a way that not many other people get to know. And it's interesting because we find that we actually are attracting really similar types of people, which I guess it's a bit of market research, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny when you start to realize there is a certain type of person. Obviously, when you go through the Start and Scale course, you create customer personas, but is that really the person who's going to buy your product? You're making an assumption, but then all of a sudden when you're in the real world, you go, actually, Sophie, who likes dogs and love hearts and emojis and blah, 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 she's actually the person who buys your product. And we have noticed that we're building that profile.
But that is something we do. It is, I find, challenging at the start because you just assume, and then often you're surprised at the people who do purchase. They might not actually be what you imagined at all. Yeah.
No, I love that. And especially if one of your guiding forces is creating that community, I think that's definitely a way to help even build your community a lot more faster than other brands, because you are getting to know someone so personally. And I guess touching on how you had that Valentine's Day promotion, are you thinking about doing and expanding your range to be birthdays and other special holidays?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've got them, they're there all year round. So I think we had 2 orders this week of people wanting custom illustrations. So I'll probably do a bit of a post on Insta and try and get some more so I can stay busy over the weekend. But no, we're going to keep it there because it's really, it's fun. And yeah, it's something special that somebody keeps, and they seem to like them. I often am are they good? I don't even know. But
all the reviews that people gave them for presents, they've all loved them.
Yeah, and I draw people's dogs. That's my favorite. When they ask me to draw their dog or their cats, or it's cute.
No, and I'm sure it would mean a lot to your customers as well, actually having something that can be this is mine, having that personalization over that product as well would be huge. And I guess, it's bringing it back to how you've grown so rapidly. Did you want to walk me through your pre-order phase that you both had?
We had the competition, which we ran, and the competition was, obviously there was a prize pack, which we we reached out to a couple of other smaller businesses, and they all donated their
we had about $850.
Yeah, about $850 worth was the prize, and we gathered, I think was it maybe 500 emails or something?
We actually gathered emails first, didn't we? I'm trying to remember. So we had
a squeeze page gathering emails, which we got about 500 emails from, and we did use Facebook ads to get those leads.
And we used Shopify as the website, but we did struggle with the basic Shopify to make the squeeze page appealing.
That's right. Yeah. So we ended up going with a plugin called Shogun, which is, I think it's $50, but
it was worth it.
To be able to build it, it's almost like Squarespace, and if you've used Squarespace and you plug and play, it's a lot easier to build a landing page that you're happy with, as opposed to just having the join up, sign up now. You can put a bit more about the benefits and features of the product.
You can have photos. The only ones that were actually provided for free were literally a page with an email box. and we needed people to actually see the product. So we knew that when they got the emails, they actually wanted it, and they knew what it was, and it really explained who we were. Like we made a video, Angus made a video of me. He just put the camera up. We had like 15 minutes, and I just started talking about it, and then he edited it together, and people seemed to connect with seeing a video and personalizing the product, so they felt like they knew who I was and why I created the product.
Yeah. And then when we launched, we used the email list to for some Facebook ads.
Yeah, we sent it out first.
That's right. We sent it out there first for pre-order on a Friday or a Thursday, and then Monday we opened to the general public.
Yeah.
And that really worked. I think it really helped.
Yeah.
We would not have done that if we hadn't done the course. We would have probably just tumbled through it and figured out some of it, but that was a really beneficial part of it.
And I think we did it for, maybe we could have done it for longer, but I think we collected about 500 plus emails, which was really good. So instantly we had a strong database of people, and then we kept emailing them. So we actually set up an email funnel so that when they got the first email, then a few days later they got another one, and then so depending when they signed up, they kind of were on a little bit of an email funnel so that we stayed relevant for them, hopefully not annoying, and then we kept letting them know this is the date that they go on sale, we have limited stock, make sure that you get in there fast. And then so we set a time and really made them aware of it. And then when we went officially live, we had a password on the website, so only people in the email database had the password and they could access the website, which was really good because it made them feel special, and they're like, oh, well, I'm going to be the first to get this.
Definitely. No, I love that idea, and I think having a pre-launch is also something you can get excited for. It's a countdown that you can both share together. And I guess, how was the feeling of seeing that first Shopify order come through?
It was really funny. We had the laptop we were on the couch, and the laptop was sitting on the coffee table, and we pressed live, and all of a sudden it just started populating all the people on the website, and was I couldn't, it just jaw dropped, could not believe what was going on.
Yeah, because we're like, where is that person? Because you can see where they are on the map.
How do they know what is going on here? So that was a really...
Someone's in Western Australia, someone's over here, we had people interstate, international. It was really cool, just seeing that light up.
When you do hear that first Shopify ka-ching, all the Shopify people out there will understand that dopamine hit, it will get you. You got to turn that thing off after a while. You're going to get addicted to that sound.
And just stop looking at the sound.
Especially when it's just a double coming through. Ka-ching, it's quite funny. But
yeah, it was really cool.
Next Shopify ka-ching.
No, that's a common theme, I think. Hearing that little ching is definitely, like you said, a good dopamine hit. But I guess from, having your pre-launch, what was the next decision after that? You opened it up without a password. How did your official open launch go?
First week we did, the first couple of weeks we did really, really well.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of traffic to the website. And then we sort of started to think, all right, how are we going to, what sort of strategy are we going to use to continue this? So we started sending the packages out to influencers, and we also started running some Facebook ads. So I set up a little bit of a funnel. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but it was working. And now we're at the stage where we're sort of figuring out how we can scale that as well. We started doing influencer marketing, a lot of Facebook ads, and just using that organic. Alana is the content creator, I suppose, but just creating content that people resonate with, and it actually provides them with value. So they pick up their phone, look at it, and go, "That is actually what I needed today." Not just putting out things that actually benefit people.
Yeah, and Angus was testing that too. And you probably produced